with you, and you're going to have other students with you as well. And typically these study abroad packages vary. They'll include health and travel insurance. Housing is usually included. Some of the meals, usually breakfast and a couple of dinners, and also some group excursions. So not only will you be taking a class that you're taking overseas, but you'll have some other things that will be covered. And CUNY tuition applies to overseas classes. So you do not need to pay for the class that you're going to be taking overseas. If it's worth 3 credits, whatever you paid CUNY is considered, that class is considered paid. Next. So the impact of COVID-19 on study abroad, there was no study abroad for the last couple of years. But as of winter 2023, study abroad is resuming at many, I would say most of the CUNY campuses. However, applications are very time consuming. So it's good that you're here because you can gather information and start early to put in your applications for the programs. So today we're going to look at CUNY programs, specific programs that CUNY is running for study abroad. So I guess the first question would be, which country are you interested in going to? I don't know if some of you, I know you mentioned Japan. Yeah. Anybody have any other countries in mind? Japan. Japan too. Japan also? Korea. Korea. Anybody else? Or
Italy.
Italy. Okay. Destinations.
Anyone from you guys?
Oh, mine's Japan as well.
Oh, Japan. Greece. Greece. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, any country.
Any country. I don't get out.
Never been out of the country, so.
You're open-minded. That's good. Anybody? Do you have something in mind? Just Japan. Okay.
Anyone from online? Anyone from online? Do you have any destinations in mind?
Muted, yeah.
We can unmute. Anyone?
I'm interested in Germany.
Germany.
Okay.
Anyone else online? No idea.
Well, CUNY has a lot of programs, so you're in the right university system. Let's change the slide. We're going to share this slide deck with you. When you click on these, it will take you to different programs that are offered by different colleges within City University of New York. Next slide. But this is just a sampling. Here's something, the German language and culture in Berlin. Brooklyn College has a collaboration with Korea University in media arts. Human rights in Cambodia, cross-cultural health education in Peru, global intersections in Spain, humans and nature in Cape Town, South Africa, intensive Arabic, art and architecture in Florence and Tuscany, digital photography in Florence, Italy, lifetime nutrition, wellness, and physical activity, Japan, Tokyo Lights creative writing seminar, also in Japan, Japanese sports, business, and culture. So you can see that anything that you're interested in, and this is just a sampling, these are just 12, anything that you're interested in, chances are you can find a program for study abroad. Next slide. So and we have, like I said, we have somebody from City College who's going to talk about specific programs. But before we hand it over to Ms. Gomez, I just wanted to go over with the process. After you've identified programs that you're interested in, so let's say you found the program of your dreams, this is something you're really excited about and you really want to go. What do? Well, first you're going to find out what documentation you need to prepare in order to submit your application, depending on the college that you're going to be working with. LaGuardia itself does not have a study abroad office, but as CUNY students, you have access to all the study abroad offices in all the colleges. at City University of New York. So you call the study abroad office and you say, hi, my name's Julie. I'm interested in this study abroad program in Peru. What do I need to do? Right? Or you can visit their campus and they will tell you. So in addition to that, you want to schedule a meeting with the head of your department, whatever your major is, or concentration, and you want to get feedback. Because ideally, you want to be able to, when you finish the study abroad, those 3 credits, you want to apply them towards your degree. Now, sometimes those credits might end up being electives, and that's like a worst case scenario. But other times, the director of the department is willing to substitute, to say, okay, we'll accept these credits, towards another class that you would normally take at LaGuardia. So it's important that you find out what documentation you need and speak to the whoever the head is of your major and say, hey, I'm interested in study abroad. How can I use this in my degree? Can you help me use this credit in my degree? Next slide. And then this just kind of reaffirms what I was saying. Things to look for, you want credit-bearing programs, right? If you're going to go, you might as well get 3 credits. An easy registration process, and a lot of times you can transfer credits through e-permit. It's like a system within CUNY that gives you a permit to take classes elsewhere. But sometimes they might not, like I said before, they might not let you apply it to your major. They might say, okay, you can take it as an elective. And in some cases, the school, colleges will give priority to the home campus students. I don't think that's a problem right now because study abroad is just starting. So they really are looking to get people to start traveling again. So I don't think that that would be an issue at all. Next. General process, here's a list. You fill out an application form. Usually they ask for a personal statement. Might be one or 2 page essay explaining why you wish to join this program. And Professor Nagano and I are more than happy to give you feedback on your essays if you would like us to. They want to see your transcript, usually a minimum 2.5 GPA, a recommendation letter from one professor. Make sure that you don't owe any money to college or anything like that, and usually a deposit which is $50 to $100. Next. You are leaving the country, so you will need a passport. Who does not have a passport? Okay, so that would be something that you would need to get. All study abroad programs, unless you're going to a U.S. territory or Puerto Rico, they require a passport, or if you're a DACA student, an advance parole. And then when you get the slide deck, you can click on this for more information. And that, to get a passport, I'm going to say it takes like a couple of months. Okay, yes?
How about renewing passports?
Right. So if you have a passport and it's expired, yeah, you cannot travel with an expired passport. And usually they'll say to you, if you want to travel with your passport, it cannot, if it expires in less than 6 months, sometimes they won't let you travel with it. So yeah, so you need to have a passport. If you don't have one, you can get one. And it cannot be expired or close to expiring. I don't know why they do that, but they do. I've been in situations like that where you have to get a new one, even though you have 6 months left. They'll say no, too close. Okay, next.
There's a question from online.
Oh yes.
About the recommendation letter. Who should they get the recommendation letter?
It's supposed to be a positive recommendation letter. So ideally from a professor that you've had, maybe a class, somebody that you trust and that you feel would write something positive for you. But I don't know if it's required to be a faculty member. It could be, you need to look at the individual application. Perhaps, a supervisor where you work might also be okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Not your mom. As long as it's not coming from your families.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so some destinations also require a visa. So a visa is not like a Visa or a MasterCard, it's not a credit card. It's basically, some countries want to check you first. If you're an American, for example, and you want to go to China, you can't go with your passport and show up. If you do, they just send you back. Well, they probably wouldn't even let you on the plane from here, but it's basically a stamp from the country that says, we approve of you. We're okay with you coming to visit our country. So China's just it depends on what kind of passport you're traveling with. With a US passport, you need to get approved. You need to get a visa. It's literally something that they put in your passport, a paper like this that they glue in. So when you arrive at your destination, you show it. That kind of says, okay, they're okay. We can let them in. Usually it's with places that the US has a little bit of a contentious relation. Like if you're going to go to Iran, you need a visa. If you want to go to Turkey, you need a visa. If you want to go to China, if you want to go to Russia, you need a visa, right? So yes.
Well, I heard, sorry, this is probably related, but like, is Ireland like a country like that? Because I heard.
No, Ireland is part of the European Union, and if you have a US passport, you can travel. It's pretty easy, like to travel in Europe. We do have something on the slide deck. If you go to the next, I don't want to assume that everyone's traveling with a US passport, but if you click on that link, you can actually see which countries you put in the passport that you have and the country that you want to travel to, and it will tell you if you need a visa for that country. So do you want to try that, Pastor Nagano?
What do you want?
I don't know, like select your passport. So let's do, I guess we could do whatever, the United States, yeah. And then, so I want to see visa required, click on visa required. And so those countries on the far right are all, if you want to go to those countries and you're traveling with a US passport, you need a visa. So not only do you need to make sure you have a passport, you also need to make sure you get approved by that country's embassy before you travel. And then if you don't want to bother with that, you could just click on visa-free travel. You don't want to worry about a visa. As you can see, the list is much bigger. And of course, if it's not a US passport that you're traveling with, if you're traveling with a passport of a different country, you can put in that country. And you can see what comes out. Hello.
Study everyone?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Next slide. Okay, so we have with us today special guest, Nini Gomez. She is the Associate Director of Study Abroad and International Programs at City College. And she's going to talk to us about specific programs and also what you can do as LaGuardia students if you want to participate in these programs, who to contact, what you should do. Thank you very much, Ms. Gomez, for being here with us today.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So you see it on the slide, my name is Nini Gomez. I just put my name and email address on the chat. So if you want to email me, you're more than welcome to email me. So the process of studying abroad with another university within the CUNY system is very seamless, right? So the only thing that you basically need to do is to reach out to one of the offices and inquire about a program depending on your personal interest and your academic interests. At City College, this upcoming winter, we have 5 different programs. And I'm going to talk about the programs, right? The programs that we have, that we know they're running for sure. In the summer, we have approximately between 10 and 15 programs for the summer 2023. So if you want to look into that, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I can forward you updated information. But for this winter, we have a program in Senegal, we have a program in Costa Rica, we also have a program in Thailand, a program in Peru, and a program in Argentina. all these programs, classes are taught in English, right? The program in Senegal is a service learning program. If you don't have any experience traveling abroad on your own, I would strongly suggest that you think about a program that is a faculty-led, meaning that you're going to be traveling with a faculty member from CUNY or from City College. In this case, it's going to be a faculty member from City College, right? So it will make you feel more comfortable to travel with a faculty member. The program in Senegal is service learning. So you're going to be working with local NGOs and you're going to be working with different organizations in Senegal. You're going to be in Senegal for 3 weeks. And you're going to be housed with homestay families, families that we have, our students have stayed in the past with. We also have a program in Argentina, which language and culture. Before I move on to Argentina, the program in Senegal is 4 credits. So you will pay CUNY tuition and a program fee of $2,000. Again, you're responsible for paying for these expenses unless you have already applied for scholarships. We also have a program in Argentina. Our program for Argentina is between 3 to 6 credits, and it's also language and culture. Classes are taught in English unless you're taking Spanish classes. For this program, students are going to stay with homestay families. Again, families that we have worked with in the past, and the homestay families are very close to the university. Excursions and cultural activities are included in the program fee. Our program in Peru is very similar to our program in Argentina. Students stay at homestay families as well, and the program is also language and culture. We also have a program in Thailand and Costa Rica. These 2 programs are biology. They're biology based. It's going to be a lot of hands-on activities. Before students travel to Costa Rica or Thailand, there's going to be a lecture, and a week of lecture classes online. But once you get to your destination, either Costa Rica or Thailand, there's going to be a lot of hands-on activities. These programs, you have excursions and cultural activities are also included. The program in Costa Rica, students are going to be moving around Costa Rica every 3 days. So you're going to be traveling all around Costa Rica. For this program, students are going to stay again with homestay families. The program has also includes excursion and cultural activities. Meals are included in the program fee, and airport pickup and airport drop-off are also included. Our program in Thailand, all the meals are included. Airport pickup is also included in the program fee, and you're going to stay at the dorms of a university for the program in Thailand. And for this program, you're going to go with a faculty member from City College. The program is specifically designed for biology major students, and everything is included on the program fees: excursion, cultural activities, the meals, airport pickup, and the program itself is 5 credits. The program in Costa Rica is 6 credits. In order for you to be able to participate in the program, you have to submit an application. And again, the application entails a copy of your transcript, a personal statement, a copy of your passport, a waiver, a liability waiver that you have to sign on. You also have to get a recommendation letter from a professor. You also have to have a personal statement. And you have to submit a deposit of $300 money order for any of the programs. If you're not accepted in the program, we'll give you back the deposit, the $300 money order. We don't hold on to the students' deposit. Most of the deadlines to apply for winter programs are towards the end of October. If you want to participate in one of our programs, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to reach out to us and let us know, and we can extend the deadline. Right now, we have received a lot of applications for the program in Thailand, and Costa Rica. So if you want to apply to either one of those programs, please reach out to us as soon as possible so we can let you know what steps you need to take and we can extend the deadline. But again, the deadline for most of our winter programs is between the end of the month, October 21st through the 28th.
I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned 5 programs.
Yes.
Can you just tell us for those programs, can you just say the price for each one?
Of course.
So, yeah.
So the program in Senegal is a total of 4 credits. So you have to pay CUNY tuition for 4 credits. There is a $300 application fee for all of the programs. You also have to pay a program fee of $2,000 for Senegal, and then you have to pay for your own airfare. The program in Senegal, the meals are included, so you don't need to worry about the meals. In-ground transportation is also included. The program in Thailand, the program fee is $1,500. The application fee is $300. You have to pay tuition for 5 credits, CUNY tuition for 5 credits, and everything is included. The meals, in-ground transportation, airport pickup, everything is included on site. So once you get to Senegal, all the expenses are included, including cultural activities. The program in Argentina is between 3 to 6 credits. So you have to pay tuition for 3 or 6 credits, whichever you decide to take. You also have to pay for $300 application fee. The program fee for Argentina is $2,000. For this program, airport pickup is not included, but it's around $25 that you have to pay out of pocket in addition to the program fee. Cultural excursion and cultural activities are included in the program fee. Housing is included for all the programs. There are 2 meals in the program in Argentina that are covered on your program fee, and all the cultural activities. The program in Costa Rica, everything is included on the program fee, and the number of credits that you can take in this program is 6 credits. You have to pay for tuition, CUNY tuition for 6 credits, an application fee of $300, and the program fee is $2,000. And everything is included, cultural activities, all the in-ground transportation is included. Remember, you're going to be traveling throughout the country. Every 3 days, you're going to be in a different part of Costa Rica. So all that is included. All the meals are included, and cultural activities are included as well. And the program in Peru, it's similar to the program in Argentina. You take 6 credits. Airport pickup is included in the program in Peru. The program fee is $2,000, and the meals are included as well.
Thank you.
Of course.
We have a question.
Of course.
Just want
You have to speak up a little bit.
I just want to know what are the cultural activities?
So it all depends on the country. For instance, in Costa Rica, you get to do a lot of outdoor excursions. In Argentina, you get to go to museum, you go to, they call it a rancho, and you get it like a gaucho show, and they do have different activities depending on the country. The cultural activities for Senegal, of course, are going to be different than the ones in Thailand, but they're all museum and visit to different sites. If you want more specific information, I'll be more than happy to send you the itinerary for each one of the programs.
Are those available on your website, or are they getting really?
The itineraries are not available on the website, but I did email you the flyers for the program and also the application form.
Fantastic. I will share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Today. Any other
There's
questions?
a question from online. Is there any program for IT security measure?
For IT?
IT security. I think it's network security or something.
So if the program is in engineering, if the student is in engineering, they can participate in the Global E3 program. But the Global E3 program is for a full semester. So if you want to try doing a full semester abroad, that's possible. And the program is designed specifically for engineering students. So if you want to look into it, I'll be more than happy to assist on that. You can email me and then we can have perhaps a Zoom meeting to discuss the requirements and the programs available.
If you're looking for something short term, if you're looking for a 2-3 week program, and you can look at the other college websites as well. They may have something for IT that's short term.
There's another question from online. Can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the information for Peru program?
For Peru?
Especially FE and activities cost.
So for Peru, it's a total 6 credits. Classes are taught in English and Spanish. If you're taking Spanish, of course, classes are going to be taught in Spanish. It's language and culture. It's a total 6 credits. The application fee is $300, tuition for 6 credits, and the program fee is $2,000. Students are going to stay at a dorm, and the cultural activities and the meals are included in the program fee. And the airport pickup is also included in the program fee.
Any other questions? Is it true that you can cover tuition with the Pell or TAP?
You could. Sometimes it all depends on your package, your financial aid package. I've seen students that financial aid is covered for the winter because it's bundled up in the spring semester. So it all depends. You have to do, of course, an e-permit if you come into City College, and you probably have to complete a form on your home school and also a form here at City College, but that's something that we can help you with.
And Ninivi, you'll send me contact information, like who they can contact, the name of the person at your office if they want to get more information.
So I already did. I put it on the chat. They can email me, and I'll be more than happy to arrange a Zoom meeting if they want. It's ngomez@ccny.cuny.edu.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and tell us about the wonderful programs that you're offering.
Before I go, I just want to say something really quick. I heard some students want to go to South Korea. We do have an amazing program in South Korea over the summer. It's a total of 5 weeks. It's 4 to 5 weeks in South Korea, and we have scholarships, and you don't need to be a City College student, or you don't need to apply for the scholarship for this program. We have funding specifically for this program. So as long as you apply for the program, you will be eligible for the scholarships. And the scholarships are really, really generous, especially if you combine them with your financial aid. You will be paying a fraction of the program cost to participate in this program. So if you want to look into that, I'll be more than happy to meet with you and discuss the program in South Korea for summer 2023.
Sounds great.
Are there any programs for 2023 in Japan?
For what?
And
City,
like programs for next year?
so City College doesn't have an agreement with the school in Japan. I believe the College of Staten Island does. And I think also Queens College and maybe Brooklyn College. So those are the 3 colleges that have programs in Japan.
Thank you.
One last thing before I go, I would strongly suggest that you guys stay within CUNY, just because CUNY programs are more affordable. Try to look into your options in CUNY, and then if you don't find anything within CUNY, then you can explore something else. But CUNY programs are way more affordable than third-party providers.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You.
Yay. So the next thing we need to look at is, well, that sounds like a lot of money. How are you going to pay for this? You know?
So I'm gonna talk about this part. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the scholarships that are available for you to apply. So if you wanna join, so some people participate in a study abroad from LaGuardia, right? You need 2 things. What do you need? Only 2 things. Yeah, but yeah, you can, that's a small thing. It's like two big things.
2.5 GPA.
2.5 GPA, that's also a small thing. Yeah. So the first one I tell you, it's interest. Obviously, you have to be interested, right? You have to be willing to make a plan and do extra work to make it happen. And then most of you already passed the first step by coming here. So first one is interest. What's the second thing? You need an interest and money. Yeah? Of course, like everything you do, you need costs. So you have to have some way to finance your study abroad experience. What we encourage, of course, if you have a means to do so, if you have like good parents who are willing to pay for your trip, that's a one way to do it. But we usually encourage you to think about the scholarships that are available to you. Most of the scholarships we talk about today are geared toward like community college students. So by being community college students, you already have an advantage in those scholarships. This is the timeline for the scholarships. Usually, so this is one timeline if assuming you're traveling in the summer. Okay? So if you're traveling summer, so you have to go a little bit backwards. So this is the goal to do summer study abroad. The beginning point is actually a year ahead, October. So this is a good time to start thinking about the study abroad scholarships. Study abroad, you can just join like within a few months. But if you wanna finance your study abroad with scholarships, this is a good time to start thinking about it. Okay. January and March are usually deadlines for scholarship applications. So we start working on your applications, and then by January to March, depends on which scholarships you're applying, your application should be ready. March happened to be the deadlines for most of the study abroad programs too. So most of the CUNY study abroad programs, if you are interested, you should submit your deposit by March. Okay? So this is a crucial time for you. Like in March, you should know about your financing and also destination. Okay? And then after that, you have to prep. So we have to do something like passports, visa. Of course, you have to make like talk about the people, family members. If you work, you have to make arrangement, right? How to skip your work during the summer. That happens between April and May, and then early summer, you're going to study. Any questions so far? Anyone from online? Okay. So there are two different kinds of scholarships. One is called the need-based scholarship. The other one is called the merit-based scholarship. What's the difference? What's the difference between the need-based and merit-based?
Need-based, they talk about somebody's financial standing. Merit-based is the basic grade and application at the time.
Yeah. So basically, needs-based, what they look at is basically your income. So income is a primary factor to determine who gets the need-based scholarship. Merit-based, what's the one thing they look at?
GPA.
GPA, thank you. It's not the only thing, but basically the difference is the needs-based is about the income. The needs-based are GPA. Right? It doesn't mean you won't get the merit-based because you have a low GPA. You have to somehow show your academic merit so that they are willing to finance your experience, right? So there are two different thoughts of philosophy here, right? So needs-based, they believe that someone who don't have means should get this experience. So by showing that there is no way for me to go to study abroad without this scholarship, you get a higher chance to get it. Right? Merit-based, their philosophy behind merit-based is they are giving you money because we want to, usually comes from place like foundation, right? So one example is, I think one of the programs about South Korea, I really don't know where the money is coming from, but chances are something about South Korea, maybe Korean government or Korean foundation, some sort of foundation. They are giving the money to future students who are going to be the bridge between the U.S. and South Korea. So that's why they are focusing on some of the good at, like bridging between two countries. Like they're not giving the money who can afford. They're giving money who can be in the future benefit themselves. To the next slide. Okay. So when you look at the scholarships, you have to think about like what kind of scholarships you're applying. Like, so merit base includes like a Pell and PAT, Excelsior. So these are very good examples of merit base. But the scholarships we are going to introduce, such as Fulbright, Gilliman, Critical Language Scholarship, and Boren. These are usually merit-based, so you have to show how good you are. Okay? What kind of benefits they get, not you get, they get by giving you money. Okay. Any question? Anyone from online? How much do you need? How much do you need?
Genuine question.
Yeah.
Okay. For 1 month?
Well, just let's say summer program, like a regular place, not too expensive, not too cheap.
Probably $5,000.
$5,000. Any other thoughts? How much do you raise? How many people believe it's more than 5,000?
For everything, like
Like for everything, like a 1 month experience.
like underestimate that.
How many people think it's gonna be more than $5,000 more? How many people believe it's fewer than 5,000? How many people have no idea? No idea, right? So it's great that I have this slide. So this is like a typical breakdown of study abroad. Less than 5,000. Yeah, thank you. So like 5,000 is a good estimate, and then actually that's what we usually talk about. 5,000 is a good figure. Right? That includes tuition. Most of the programs bear credits, so you have to pay tuition for that. Airfare depends on where you go, especially right now that oil is so expensive. So airfare is it's definitely a big chunk of your money you're paying. Room and board, it varies, but it's usually part of the program. Local trips, it's a small amount of money, but you have to make sure you have a ways to move around. It depends on your lifestyle, but the personal expenses, like if you are going to buy a lot of gifts, right, or if you're going to make a lot of local travels, you may need around like $2,000. Fees, application fees. For example, City College collects $300. They actually are a little bit higher, and usually $50 deposit is usually a typical amount. But it ranges from $50 to $500. You need an insurance. You can't use your local insurance for study abroad. You have to buy special insurance for your study abroad. That's about $500. And then small things like passport cost money too. And then altogether, usually $500. Depends on like your lifestyle. Like if you don't mind staying in like YMCA, it's gonna be lower end. But if you're staying in a hotel, like very expensive luxury hotel, it's going to be $10,000. How are you gonna pay for that? You get.
A job.
No, you shouldn't get the job. You're here to get. Thank you. Yeah. So the goal of this part of the workshop is to get this cost covered by scholarship. Don't get the job. You shouldn't be here. You're getting a job. You should be working. So there are several different scholarships, and these are the scholarships we usually encourage. The first one is Boren Scholarship. it funds up to $10,000, and it's usually targets semester-long study abroad. So it's something beyond our scope, right? Right now, we're thinking about the summer study abroad, the winter study abroad. So foreign is a little bit beyond that. But if you're interested, yeah, you get the slide. If you're interested in a semester study abroad, foreign is a good choice. We are going to focus on the Gilman, Benjamin Gilman Scholarship. That covers about up to $5,000 for usually summer or winter study abroad. Critical language scholarship is also a good scholarship. It doesn't give you money because it's a program itself. So if you join critical language scholarship, everything is covered by them, right? You just join the program and you don't need to worry about anything. They make arrangement for you, everything. You're going to go usually like a higher education institution in the destination, and you just take the classes there. Tuition, room and board, everything is covered. I think Arthur is going to talk about it, but we had the two, right? At least one like China. That's the only person I remember. But I remember like there are three. But anyway, we did have some people who got the critical language too. Freeman Asia is a scholarship only for Asia. It's very similar to Benjamin Gilman. Actually, all of them they are coming from Department of State, and their application process are very similar, and they are very prestigious as well. If you get it, it's going to be highlight of your resume. Like you did study abroad to here with the Benjamin Gilman scholarship. It's going to be like everybody pays attention to it. Yeah.
This is kind of unrelated, but are the study abroad programs like open to international students?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like
All of them are U.S. citizens, right? Yeah. So one thing is that since this is coming from the Department of State, it requires the citizenship or permanent residency. We do have a lot of other scholarships that are open to people from different backgrounds. Actually, we have a very long list, so we are going to share with you. Basically, you do need the same thing. What do you need to get the scholarships? You need just one thing, which is a GPA. There's nothing you can do about GPA. So, but you can study harder now. What do you need to do now? Like you have to write a letter, essay, right? You need an essay. So that's the crucial components of any scholarship. So even if you're not applying for Gilman, you end up writing your essay. And there's another component, which is you ask for recommendation. So you just like make friends with someone and then make sure that they know you well. I think authors definitely write more recommendations than we do, but like, he can talk about the little tricks. Like we have a template. We usually have a template. And then if someone I don't know well asks for recommendation letter, I said, yes, anytime. I can do it like in 5 minutes because all I have to do is just change the name and send it to you. Because I don't know you, right? Like what can I write about? That's like a lowest kind of recommendation letter, right? But you don't want to have like that letter. You want us to write about who you are, how much I know you. But if I don't know you, there's nothing I can write about. So that's something you can also do too. It takes a month. Any other question? Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Gilman. Okay, so the funding, the description of Gilman is it's a funding for undergraduate students, and it has to be at least 28 days in the country. So it has to be a month long minimum. The purpose is to enable students of limited financial means to study or intern abroad, thereby gain skills critical to our national security and economic competitiveness. So there are two things about in this statement. One is we just said that the agreement is the merit based, right? You have to show how good you are, but it also cares about your
Financial.
need, right? It does say that it's interested to fund someone who doesn't have a means. So you have to do two things. One is to demonstrate your financial needs, and also show they're interested two things too. Remember, merit-based, they are interested benefiting themselves. They are interested doing something by giving you money. What are they interested? For this case, what did they say? National security. Yeah, they are actually making a spies in the future. It's not spies, but definitely someone who are, who know enough about what's happening outside the states. Remember, the money is coming from the Department of State. So they are interested in someone who is going to be like diplomats or international security analysts or something like that. So you have to, if you show that you are interested in like that kind of careers, like I want to be a diplomat or I want to bridge the between two countries, it doesn't mean like you destroy other countries, you're bridging the countries. That's what they're interested in. There are a few eligibilities. You must be citizen. You should be getting Pell Grant. And then you also have to be a student, any places, including LaGuardia. And it pays up to $5,000, and deadline is March next year. And I want to end with on a positive note. 57% of LaGuardia students accepted. So if you finish your application process, your chance is actually very high. So 6 out of 10 students did get in the past. And these are examples of the people who received it. And different destinations, a different amount. Do you know why we have this high success rate? Do you know why he's sitting here? Because he's the one of the people who
Approves the scholarship.
Actually, there's no connection, but
but he knows like what you need. Yeah. So that's what he's gonna talk about.
Okay. Actually, Tomonori, I think I just need the next 2 slides instead of looking too much. Maybe first you can go to the next one, and then after this, the next one, yeah, just focusing on the text. So yeah, of course, Professor Nagano was kidding a little bit, saying that I have a hand in helping people get this. No, I have served on the selection panel 3 times in the past 2 years. Of course, the committee, the people who organize the scholarships, will make sure that I do not read anyone from my own campus. Right, so that is always the case. But I think that there are some tips that I can share with you. I think to recap some of the things that the other 2 professors and the speaker earlier online talked about. Applying for study abroad, the program is time consuming. And also applying for scholarship is time consuming. So start early and don't get frustrated. It is a lot of writing. And that is actually how you can tell that you are an interesting person, that you have a strong interest in the language or the country, and why you are a better person than other applicants, right? So I think the CUNY scholarship is particularly worthwhile for LaGuardia students for a number of reasons. Everyone applying has to be a Pell Grant recipient. In other words, if your family can support you, or if you have enough savings to come to college without applying for financial aid from the federal government, this is not for you. So this is really for students who probably will not have a chance to go study abroad if they don't get this scholarship, right? So, LaGuardia students, CUNY students, a lot of us rely on government funding. So this is exactly the right place for you. And there are certain standards that the reviewers were told that we should, look favorably upon. For instance, all over the country, this is open to the entire US. There are students applying for public universities, private universities, 4-year colleges, 2-year colleges. Now they said specifically if an applicant, the ability or the profile, the GPA is very similar to someone from a 4-year program, very prestigious one. They would actually favor LaGuardia students or community college students. So, just picking names out of nowhere. If we have someone from NYU competing with you, similar GPA, doing very well in your majors, everything being the same, you will get a chance, higher than other students who are also financial aid recipient, but they're coming from a 4-year college. So that's one advantage. And also LaGuardia itself is called a Hispanic Serving Institute. That means we have a high percentage of students who are minorities. That is also a plus. So you can say other elite colleges, they don't have a high percentage of minority students. Applicants from those places will not be weighed as favorably as us, right? Now, also, if someone has military experience in your background, being a veteran, the Cuban scholarship is also giving you a special credential. And, a special subgroup of applicants, offline afterwards, if you guys want to know more about it, I can tell you. There's also something related to the Cuban scholarship. It's called the McCain Scholarship. It is for children of current or former service members. If you have family members who are right now serving in the U.S. military or previously served, you will also get a special category as well. So, with all those things being said, just like what Professor Nagano said earlier, the scholarship is funded by the U.S. Department of State. To say that they are trying to train you as a spy is, of course, an exaggeration. But the reality is that they want someone who can be an ambassador representing U.S. You go out, you see the world, you learn something about other countries, and you're also an ambassador representing the good side of American people, right? So that you go out. So there are certain additional criteria that would be, considered favorable. If you want to go to a country that is less represented, now by less represented, usually it would mean something outside of Europe, right? So let's just use a very simple category. Most of the European countries are not considered to be high need. In other words, this Cuban scholarship encourages, supports students to go to countries where English or the European or the Romance languages are not spoken. So Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Arabic. Well, right now Russian is dangerous, but that has always been the place that the U.S. government wants U.S. students to go and learn the languages and learn about the cultures of those places. And then, pretty much most countries in Asia, in Africa, would be considered one of those locations. And I think Brazil, speaking Portuguese, is also considered a high need area. So I served a few times on the committees, and this is the most recent round, some of the numbers that I gathered. Spain, the top 4 are obviously European countries, but no surprise that LaGuardia students' interests, from what I've heard, are very similar to interests nationally. Because of pop culture, there's no doubt about that, because of manga, because of K-pop music, right? So those are the places and the languages that attract a lot of US students' interest right now. Can you go to the next one? Next slide. So I said earlier, it is a lot of work, but it's mostly sitting down, thinking about how to tell an interesting story about yourself, right? Now, Ms. Gomez from CCNY talked about earlier the South Korea program. That is great. You apply for the program, and then if you are accepted, you get the scholarship. That's great. But most of the time, you look for a place to go. you have to apply and show your GPA and make sure that the credits you can come back and transfer. And on the other hand, you have to write some interesting essays. And I'm sure, before I go into the details, all the professors here are interested or willing to help you if you so decide to go to any of the places, not just the top, the most interesting ones or the most popular ones. Now, particularly for the CUNY scholarship, you have to write at least 3 essays. And in some special situation, if you write another essay, you get another $500 for what they call the Critical Need Language Award. Well, the statement of purpose, you have to write something about connecting your own academic interests and maybe the future career or the destination, the location that you're going to. Now, most likely, I would say the credits that you are going to earn will be applied related to language and culture. I don't know, whether biology or business administration or accounting, whether foreign credits are transferable. So most likely, be realistic, the credits you earn from the foreign country most likely will come back to the language or culture related credits. So you're trying to tell a story about yourself. And again, most students would probably say, well, I'm a very boring person. I come to school, I live with my family, I have a part-time job, and that's it. I'm only 20, 25 years old. I don't have a lot of life experience. But think hard. Think about how you can tell an interesting story. And again, there's no hiding, there's no surprise. That you can say, well, me being a minority student studying in New York, I want to go to this country because I want to expose myself to something that I'm not familiar with, or when I come back, I want to do something that is interesting, connecting with my own heritage, or connecting with what is available in those countries. So talking about heritage, actually, the CUNY scholarship specifically said that whether you are a heritage student, a heritage language speaker of that language or of that location is not a factor. That means if you are already a Spanish-speaking speaker and you want to go to Argentina or South American countries, that's fine. Or if you are a native English speaker and you want to go to Korea or Japan, where you have no family connection, that's also okay. So there's no plus or minus what your background is. It doesn't mean that, well, I speak Spanish, so I apply to a Spanish-speaking country. It's easier or more difficult. No, it's all about how you tell the story, right? Now, for the CUNY scholarship, another essay that they will ask you to do is talk about how you will promote mutual understanding between the two countries. Well, usually you only go for about a month, so it's not a lot that you can do. But always try to be modest and don't exaggerate. I've seen some essays that would really make the reviewers shake our heads because things like they would say, well, I want to, tell the rest of the world what being American means. That's a very dangerous thing, right? Because right now, American value or American society right now doesn't really have a lot of goodwill in foreign countries. And also, even professors who were born here, or some professors like myself, being an immigrant, what does it mean being an American? What is American value? It's so difficult. So try to think of something that is modest and, some of the successful strategies that you will say is that if I stay with some home, if I don't live in a dorm, I stay with a home, then you have to be prepared that you will try to speak other people's languages, eat other people's food. Now, of course, if you have your own dietary constraints, then you have to be careful. If you are strictly vegetarian, then sometimes going to another country, you have to be aware that it may be a challenge, right? So all those things you have to be bear in mind. Now, another the third essay that will obviously win you a lot of points is the panel will ask you part of the package is that you have to write a one-page essay about how you can come back and let other people know how you will follow through. So yeah, we all know that study abroad is a little bit about sightseeing. It's a little bit about learning new things, but it's also about how you come back and spread the word and let other people know that this is something worthwhile. Now, I have seen some pretty generic examples which are not particularly interesting, and I have seen some examples that are good, and I can share those. Right now, almost everyone said, well, I will update my IG account every day so that people at home will know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, everyone is doing that. Some people will say, well, I will create a YouTube channel and take videos. Yeah, okay, everyone is doing that. Now, something more meaningful and it has a longer term impact. I remember seeing some essays where you can tell the applicants have really put in a lot of energy. They would say, I would like to go back to the high school that I graduated from because there are a lot of students like me, minority, Hispanic, usually don't have a lot of money. They never dreamed of going abroad. And I will go and tell my, as an alumni of my high school, I will go back and show them the videos or the photos or my experience in another country. Or they would say, I would go back to my church or temple or mosque, whatever religion we practice, and also work as a youth counselor so that I can help younger people dream big and think about opportunities. So, think about, now, number one, you have to be honest, right? They do not always come back and ask you 6 months later, are you really doing that? But at least if you want to make a promise, you try to think of something more interesting. Or even if you say, well, when I go back to LaGuardia, I will still have 1 more semester. I will help the professors who organize the panel. I will come and speak on the panel because I have the experience of actually winning the scholarship. So think about something interesting, something that is powerful. Now, a fourth essay that will earn you another $500 is if you go to these places. Now, most of the time, if you go to Korea or Japan or China or even Egypt or Lebanon, right, Middle Eastern countries, you can study the subjects in English. That's fine. But if somehow the program that you have chosen will also give you a chance to practice any of these languages, and these are what the government calls less commonly taught languages, they will give you another $500. And you will try to make a case that, well, I studied Japanese 101 and 102 in college, but actually I'm not good enough. But when I go to Japan, I will study classes in English, but I will also try to find opportunities to practice my Japanese. So, different things will help you win another additional amount. So I think when you get the PowerPoint slides, there are more details about each essay, what is required, but I'm not going to go into great detail. But as I said, the professors here are much more than willing to help you look at your essays and try to make you look more interesting in front of other people, right?
Question.
Yeah, so if you have questions, like this.
Professor Lau, could you tell us the worst essay that you read and also the best essay that you read, like in, just like your mind?
Well, yeah, I think that the worst kind of essay is it is too short. Now, usually we would expect about 1 page, but if someone only has half a page or a third of a page, then you can tell the person is not really serious. So you don't really give them too much credit. Some of the better examples, a few came to my mind. There was a Chinese American student in California. She said that she didn't have a very good relationship with her parents growing up, and she resented the fact that she was different, that she's not white. And then after she went to college, she started to realize that, well, there's something missing in my background. So she wanted to go to, I don't remember whether it's mainland China or Taiwan, to learn a little bit more about her background and her heritage. There were also, well, usually people who have served in military, they usually really get a lot of high points, because most likely they're going back to a place where they already served. And very often they are applying for the critical need language scholarship in Arabic. So, those are the ones that could come up very clearly. And also, there were one or two cases where students were mature adults, their parents. One woman said she had an 8 or 9-year-old girl, and if she really gets the scholarship, she had to get her own mother, the grandmother of the child, to take care of the child for 1 month, so that she could go and see the world and learn something about the subject and also the language. So, like I said earlier, not everyone has a very interesting family background to talk about, but look yourself in the mirror. Maybe there's something about the major that you have chosen and the country that you're going to that would somehow click, and you can tell an interesting story.
Any other questions? Anyone from online? Are you still there? Any questions from online?
I have a question. What are the essay topics typically? Are they all just about yourself?
Oh, can you go back to maybe, yeah, okay, next one. Right, so they have a few prompts. It is a little bit more specific than, tell me about yourself. But that's too difficult, too general. So they would have questions like this. Why did you select your specific program and host country? How are you academically prepared to be a successful scholar abroad? So if you I think I remember hearing the program going to Costa Rica is probably something related to the study of environment, then maybe you will say, I have taken courses in biology and I want to be a nurse, or I want to study environmental science, I want to study pollution. So if that is the case, then this is the right mix for you. Or now this is also another part that you can be honest and you don't have to be embarrassed or shy. We know all across CUNY and in LaGuardia, we have students who sometimes have learning challenges, learning difficulties. And you can, state that in your essay. And also, I remember some students, because you have to provide your transcript, and there's a pattern. Before pandemic, some students were doing quite well. And then the student would explain very clearly, well, during this pandemic, I lost interest, or I struggle with online learning. So for one semester, my GPA went down. But now I'm coming back and I'm slowly climbing back up. So you don't have to hide any difficulties that you have. What examples or knowledge or skills that you can bring managing the challenges of going abroad? So this is the very general essay, about 1 to 2 pages. The next one. So this is about building mutual understanding. When you actually go to the website, all these prompts are there. It is not like Q&A. No, you have to think about all the answers and make it into a short essay about 1 page. And then the next one. Yeah, this one I always find it is the place where you can really show off and be a different candidate. How you want to come back and let other people know that study abroad is not that impossible, even for community college students. Yes, $5,000, $7,000 is a lot. So maybe you have to save up some of your part-time work money, use the financial aid, use the scholarship, and maybe with help from your family members. So all the prompts are online, and they are very standard. Every year it's the same questions that they ask. Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor or online? I just want to mention about the cost. I forgot to mention that even if you stay in New York City, you're still spending, right? Like your monthly spending is like how much? $3,000. Like it depends on like where you live. So keep in mind, like you're not spending there $5,000 minus your regular expenses. Like anyway, because you can't live anywhere without spending any money. So it's sounds a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not really like the face value is like what you're paying for the study abroad.
Who is interested in Korea? Someone here is interested. Okay, so that program that she mentioned at City College, that's really worth looking into because they have that funded.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
It'll be on their website.
So if you sign up for the workshop, you're going to get the email from us after after today. You're going to get a copy of the slides as well as all the information from City College. Yeah. And then we also have a booklet list of the study abroad scholarships for different people. So that's also included.
And then if you need feedback on your essays,
Yeah.
we're happy to help.
I mean,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. Good job, everybody. So if you're online, we're gonna close the Zoom. Thank you so much for coming.